Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's webinar, Social Media for Small Business. We had a record number of people actually register for this webinar, so I'm hoping that a few more people do pop in, but thank you for those of you who are here on time. I am going to get straight into it because I've got some good news for you. I've had a bit of technical difficulty and I've actually had to use the notes from the 2-hour workshop for this session this evening. What that means is you are going to get a whole heap of value. Now, you will actually receive a copy of the recording, so I don't want you to freak out, but I am going to get started straight away and get straight into it. So for those of you who don't know, this workshop or this webinar is brought to you through the Australian Federal Government's Digital Solutions Program and is proudly brought to you across Queensland, Northern Territory and Western Australia by Business Station. Now, just a little bit of housekeeping for you all. You will notice that your microphones are muted, but this is an interactive webinar. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask, as I said, I've got a lot of content to get through, but please don't be afraid to ask. Pop it into the chat and I'll do my best to get it answered for you. And everybody who registered will receive a copy of the recording. That will be sent to you by Business Station. A little bit about me, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kerrie and I am the co-founder of Altitude Business Solutions. I've been with the Digital Solutions Program now for about 2.5 years, and it's something that I really enjoy. Altitude Business Solutions has been going for about 3 years, and it's an online business that I run with my sister. So that's a little bit about me. Now, you're in the right place today if you are ready to gain a clearer understanding of social media and how to use it to grow your business. I think we've all reached that stage now where we understand that if we're going to grow our business digitally and use digital as a form of marketing, then social media is part of that digital online marketing. It's not the only thing. There's a number of things you should be doing. But it certainly is something that you can no longer ignore. I would say probably 5 years ago, so what are we, 2022, 2017 previous, you probably could get away with not being on social media. Nowadays, people are starting to use Facebook as a search engine. So if they can't find your business in their social media platforms that they're on, you may not see them. And that's not to say that that's the only place that they will look, but certainly for a lot of people, they're on those platforms. So we're trying to make it nice and easy for everybody to do business with us as a business owner, aren't we? We're really trying to make sure that we're attracting as many people who could use our services as possible. Now, what I find interesting about social media is that many business owners will say to me, oh, I don't get on that Facebooky thing. You know, I wouldn't book anything on that Facebooky thing, so I'm not going to have a social media page. I'm just going to do it the old-fashioned way. And that's fantastic, but you will only attract one type of customer. You will attract the customer who, like you, doesn't go onto Facebook or social media. What you want to do as a business owner is you want to have as much information out there on as many platforms as possible so that you are attracting as many customers as you possibly can. So for me, that would be advertising in my local newspaper. I advertise over social media. I advertise on Google. I advertise on my local community radio station. I want to attract people who want to use my business regardless of what platform they're on or what they happen to be listening to. So just because I no longer sit in the car for long periods of time and listen to the radio doesn't mean that somebody else isn't. So if you haven't considered all of your marketing options, you really should, and take a different look at it. You can't ignore the numbers. Billions of people use social media every day. Billions. I mean, Facebook currently has over 2 billion active users a day. That's just active users. So that's not talking about people who have an account that only go on there on Saturday, but weren't on there on Wednesday. So that is active users each day. It's just simply phenomenal. And all of the social media platforms, including Twitter and LinkedIn, Pinterest, they're all growing. These stats are important because it's important for you to really understand that Well, you may not be a massive user of social media. Your clients certainly are, or your customers certainly are. You want to make sure that you are on on every platform that you can to grow your business. But social media has proven to be one of the most powerful ways to grow your social media when it is in cohesiveness with everything else, of course. Now, what social media allows you to do is attract customers and connect with audiences that you never would otherwise have done. So if you are an online business, you may attract customers from all over the world by being across your social media and being on social media. So this raises some important questions. What is the best platform to use? What tactics should you use to be seen by the most amount of people? Are there certain types of content that perform better than others? How regularly should I be posting content? And what are the etiquette or rules do I need to follow? Well, hopefully by the time we get to this end of this hour session, which as I said to you is going to be jam-packed full of information, you will actually have all of those questions answered. Many business owners think that if they simply start posting on a social media platform, they've started a Facebook page and they're just going to do a few posts, that they'll be successful at attracting new customers, but it doesn't work that way. In order to build your business through social media, you really need to have a strategy in place or a bit of a plan. You need to know when you're going to post, what you're going to post, how often you're going to post. And it's important to have a plan to engage with your audience. It's simply not enough to post across a variety of different social media networks without a plan in place for how you're going to use social media. So hopefully what I'm going to show you today will open up your eyes and make it a little bit simpler for you. We'll give you, pretty much a 1, 2, 3 step process. I'm going to be going through it all. So the first step is, what platforms should you be on? It's probably one of the most important steps. And the reason why I say this is because I want you to be realistic. I don't want you to burn yourself out on social media. I don't want you to go, I'm going to have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google, Pinterest, Tumblr, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, I'm going to have it all. I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I really want you to focus in and choose 2 platforms that are right for you and work with those. If you find that 2 platforms is easy for you to handle and you want to add a 3rd one, that can happen down the track, absolutely. But, perfect 2 or even just 1. Start small and you can always get bigger. In order to do this, you need to know a little bit about your target audience. You would have heard this terminology before, or your target customer. You need to know a little bit about them to have a clear understanding of what social media platforms that they interact on and where they are. For example, if you are a business that actually deals with business owners, then the platform of choice for you is probably going to be LinkedIn. That's a real corporate business to business kind of platform. If you are a business that sells an actual product where you can take some amazing photos of a product, then LinkedIn might be the place for you. That's where the audience may be from that platform. If your audience is younger, I definitely say that you want to be focusing on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube. They're probably the 3 that the younger demographic are on a lot. For me and my business, I always attract the mid-40-year-old person, and it's probably just because that's the age bracket that I sit in as well. And they might be looking at the TikToky, but they're not on there often enough. They do spend quite a bit of time on Facebook. They normally feel pretty chuffed that they've got that sorted out. So they might spend a bit of time on there, and they would spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. So you're going to go now and you're going to check all of my social media profiles, and you're going to find that they're not great. They're not perfect. I probably spend more time teaching people about social media than I do on my own social media platforms. Now, if you don't know where your audience spends most of their time, or you're really not sure where they're at, don't be afraid to ask. Sending out an email that says something along the lines of, what social media platform would you like to see us on, to your existing customers can give you a really good indication of where you can be. So this is one of the most easiest and effective ways to find out information. One other thing to consider when choosing your platform is, depending on the products and services that you sell, one might be better than the other. So I spoke about if you had a product earlier that you were selling, and I mentioned LinkedIn. LinkedIn is really great if you're selling a product that you can take beautiful pictures with, the people sitting on the beach and it all looking amazing. But if you are selling, a ruler for a tradesperson, it's a product, yes, but not necessarily the best for Instagram. So I'm going to be going through all of that. Now, as you consider which platforms to use, it's essential that you think smaller rather than bigger. So as I said, I don't want you to go on too many platforms, just concentrate on one or two. And to help you choose, I'm going to just very quickly go through some of the more popular social media platforms. And as I said, you'll get a copy of this video, so it'll be great for you to refer back to. But Facebook is really great. The purpose for it is identity. So you can tell your business story and share industry knowledge and company news. You can share lots of different types of content on that platform. New products, testimonials. You can educate your audience. You can distribute industry news, company news and updates, and you can go use video and do lives as well. Instagram is really great for a storefront. It allows you to showcase your products, give people a behind the scenes, and can also have some user-generated content. Now, that is where somebody might be using your product and they actually put a post of themselves up using the product and tag you in. Pinterest, the purpose of Pinterest is for distribution, and Pinterest really helps to get people back to your website. So if you are a blog writer and you want to share blogs about your product and services because you want to get people to your website, then Pinterest is a great place for you to be. We've got LinkedIn there, which is and it has an authority purpose. So even if you are not going to be using LinkedIn for your business, please make sure you have a LinkedIn personal profile, because when somebody knows that you are the business owner or the person behind the business, they like it when they can find a little bit of information out about you. And LinkedIn is a public platform, so they can find out, how long you've been in business for or things like that. What you may have done before you got into business can be really important as well. You can also share industry knowledge and any job listings that you might have as well. A lot of people go on there in search of jobs. Twitter's real purpose is for news. You'll see a lot of politicians use this. It allows them to very quickly get some information out about what is happening, and it is quite effective, as you would have seen recently. And it gives you the opportunity to engage with thought leaders on there as well. TikTok is all about authenticity, and this is why the young kids love it. I know there's filters and all that other stuff that's on there as well, but it is about the people that get on there and they're real and then just themselves. They're the ones that do really well. This is where you can share educational topics and behind the scene videos, and really, cement yourself as an expert in your field. Snapchat. So Snapchat is kind of on the way out, I'd say, but you never know. A lot of people use it for filters and things like that. But if you have a younger demographic, like that is the key. They've grown up with Snapchat, so you may find that Snapchat is for you. So that gives you a little bit of an idea. Purpose, BTS is behind the scenes. Sorry, I should write that in full so it doesn't confuse people. When in doubt, if you're still not sure which one you're going to focus on, even after you've surveyed your audience and done everything else, Facebook is a really safe option. With over 2 billion active users a day, you can be sure that part of your audience is on there, so you won't be wasting your time. At the end of the day, what matters most is, not necessarily the particular platform, I just don't want you guys to get overwhelmed, just making sure that you're being consistent. So guys, before I move on to the next section, is there any questions on that? I know I feel like I'm talking like the road runner right now, because I know I've got so many slides to get through, but you will be able to refer back to the recording and go over anything that you may feel that you need a little bit more time on, or to watch again. If you have any questions, pop them into the chat for me. Step number 2 is optimize your social media profile. If you want a business's social media page, and like if you went to my social media business page and you saw that there was no phone number, no website, and the address was half filled out, and I hadn't posted for a month or even longer, 6 months, you might wonder if I'm actually still in business. So it's really essential that you optimize your social media profile so that people can find all the information out they need. So I'm going to give you some recommendations. First of all, your username. Please make sure whatever you use is a professional username. So this goes for personally or business-wise. If you're doing a business page, you know, personally, there's no use having user 3456. That does nothing for you. So always use your full name. Do not use a Facebook profile as your business page. When Facebook finds it, they'll shut it down and all of your hard work will be gone. So a profile is something that is attached to you yourself, and then you have a Facebook page. You need to have a profile to be able to set up your Facebook page. So if you're going to have a username as your for your Facebook page or LinkedIn page or whatever it is, please make sure it's the name of your business and not something unusual. I've seen some really unusual things around. So just making sure that it is a professional, your business name, and people will recognize. I've just explained about Facebook. I've done that roundabout there. Use a high quality profile photo. So if it's on your personal profile, wherever that is, Instagram, Facebook, wherever, please make sure you're using a high quality photo. It doesn't have to be professional. I'm talking about professional shots come off your mobile phone these days. So make sure it's a nice clear picture and people can see that it's you. If we're talking about your page for your business, I really suggest using your logo. You want people to be able to recognize your logo and recognize who your business is, and they see that logo wherever your business is. Make sure you fill out the about section, even if it's only a few lines. A mechanic with 25 years experience working in the Greater Sydney area. It can be that simple, but it's a real missed opportunity when people don't fill out their about section. In your about section, there's no need to put in all of your details, including your opening hours and all that. That is actually part of it, part of the optimizing. It's a different section. So your about us just needs to be a sentence about you, really nice and simple. Make sure you upload a professional cover photo. This is the one area where a lot of businesses lack. So on platforms such as LinkedIn, Facebook, they have a cover photo area, which is separate to your profile picture. So this is where you can have, you know, your logo in there again. You can even put more information. So that people have some more information via a picture, not necessarily reading it all. And please make sure you enter all of your phone number, your actual physical address if you have one, and your email address so that people can get in contact with you, as well as your website. You want all of that information to be filled out and ready to go. I talk about being professional on social media, and I'm going to touch on this. Obviously, this woman here is a businesswoman, but your social media page or profile will be the first touch point for some potential clients. And it's critical that your profile feels professional enough that they will want to deal with you. It may very well be that they love your personality as you are and you're the rough and ready mechanic and they love that about you. But if I'm a brand new customer to you, I'm not necessarily looking for the rough and ready mechanic. I'm looking for someone who can really show me that they're a bit professional and they can show me that they get the job done. So sometimes I'm all about putting your personality into things, but I really want you to put your personality into things by being professional at the same time. It's okay to share that you like to ride dirt bikes on the weekend and spend time with your family if you want people to know a little bit about who you are. But just make sure it's presented in a professional way. You don't want somebody to be turned off before they've even got to your business. So just think of, whatever you're putting online just needs to look a little bit professional. Again, guys, any questions, pop them into the chat, but I am going to keep moving through. Step number 3, we're going to be talking about, we'll spend quite a bit of time here because the majority of people that I deal with in the small business sector, this is where they get stuck. Content and posting schedule. Many people start a Facebook page and then post a couple of things and that's it, because they don't know how they're actually going to be posting. When creating a social media calendar, you need to ask yourself a few questions. So, how often are you going to post? Now, if we're talking about ideally, you should be posting at least 3 times per week. However, I will say this, and I always turn my video on here and get serious. If 3 times per week is not achievable for you, I want you to post as many times as you can be consistent. I have clients who, after coming to a training session with me, still only post 2 times a week, but they post 2 times a week and they're consistently posting 2 times a week. Consistency really is key. It shows people who visit your page that you're still open, that you're still active on social media platforms, and that there is something, something happening. And you're consistently putting something up. So you'll get the most as you possibly can out of posting a couple of times a week. If you want to optimize, 3 times a week would be great. If you're a business that works Monday to Friday, those 3 days might be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you're a Tuesday to Saturday, it might be Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So it's completely up to you. It might be when the office girl's in, I don't know, but just be consistent with it. So that answers that question. Now, you may be thinking, why do I need a strategy? Why do I need to plan all this out in advance? Why can't I just start posting stuff? I want you to consider, 2 reasons why you should be planning things out. So if you have a plan, it's easy to stick to and it helps you to be consistent. It also means that you can get ahead of yourself. So you're not sort of just thinking about what you're going to be posting this week today. You're taking the guesswork out of things and you're ensuring that you're getting the information across that you need to. And it really takes the stress out of it all. When you know that you've set a plan and you've actually planned your social media out, you may have even scheduled it in advance and you're 3 weeks ahead, it takes all the stress and worry out of it all. You know that social media is just ticking on there in the background and it's already working for you. How do we create a strategy? You may have heard the word strategy so many times. It's used a lot, particularly in social media. And I'm going to give you a step-by-step plan. This is where it gets really easy for you. First of all, I want to talk about what you are going to post, okay? So this is the content that you are going to post. When I'm dealing with clients, I keep any content that I'm going to create with them or setting up a plan for them within these 5 pillars. So motivational, testimonials, educational, promotional, or entertaining. So motivational, motivational Monday, if it's not going to motivate them, it should speak to your ideal client and motivate them to take action. Testimonials, this is where you go, hey, we are awesome and somebody else thinks so too. And you share. I can see that I've spelt response wrong there. That's standing out to me now. You'll find a lot of spelling mistakes in here. I can assure you of that. It's not my strong point. And missing punctuation, which I know drives a lot of people insane. Educational. So this is where you cement yourself as an expert in your field by saying, did you know the #1 mechanical problem, the majority of cars, is X? And it is so important that your mechanic is checking it on a regular basis. It is cementing you as an expert. Promotional, this is simply where we go. This is us and this is what we do, or here's this month's special, here's this week's special. And entertaining is really nothing but exactly that. Thank God it's Friday, another manic Monday, just really stuff that's just going to entertain people and make people laugh. You'll see a lot of memes coming up on Friday. Friday memes are a big thing. And for those of you who don't know what a meme is, M-E-M-E, Google it, you'll see it, and go to the images and you'll see a lot of them come up. So a meme for me is something that takes an everyday action and puts it into a funny little picture and has me going, oh my gosh, yes, that's exactly what happens. It has you having a bit of an aha moment there. So once I know the different types of content, I allocate those to days of the week. Now, in this example, guys, I want you to understand that I'm going to the extreme. I'm assuming that I've got a fantastic client. This person is happy to post 5 times a week. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to create a strategy for posting 5 times a week. If you've decided that you're only going to post 3, then you're only going to post 3. And the great thing about only posting 3 is that you actually have 5 different topics to choose from, so it makes it easier for you to be able to create content. So all I simply do with this client who's amazing and wants to post 5 times per week on their social media is allocate one of those pieces of content to a day of the week. So I've kept it easy: Motivational Monday, Testimonial Tuesday, Educational Wednesday, Promotional Thursday, and Entertaining Friday. So now we know what we are going to be posting on what days. Okay, that's giving us a little bit of an idea, a little bit of a help along. So how are we going to present the content? Now, this will vary depending on how brave you are, but I wanted to really show you the different stats here. So you can have a text-only post. That is simply just where you're just typing out, guys, I've got a special on hamburgers today, come in and get them, with just some text. No picture, nothing else. Then we have the picture-only text. So it could be an advertisement. We spoke about memes, so it could be a meme. What I can tell you about is a picture-only text actually gets 2 times more engagement than a text-only. This just proves to you how visual a lot of people are. A picture will actually get someone to stop and have a look at what the picture might be about, where sometimes people just simply scroll past text. The most common form of posting is using a text and picture. So this is where you would write, hamburgers on special this week, and here's a picture of the hamburger. That post is going to get 4 times more engagement than the text-only post. Then you've got a brand video. So this is a video that you might make up. It doesn't have your face in it, okay? So you might, stitch together, if you're a Canva user, a few pictures of your hamburger and play some music to it, and maybe have your logo on there. So it's where it's giving out information via a video. Normally the video will automatically play on most people's mobiles if they're scrolling. And this particular video post gets 8 times more engagement than text only. Then we've got the face to camera. These are for the people who are brave enough to put their face on camera. And it doesn't matter whether it's well or not, because we're looking for authenticity. We're looking for to get to know the people behind the brand and to see that they're real people. So this is where you would actually have a hamburger with you, and you would be yourself in the video saying, guys, we have our mega hamburger on special this week. You need to come down. Here it is here. I'm going to take a bite of it and just show you how amazing it is. Oh my God. It is an amazing hamburger. It's on special for $8 this week. So come on down and try it out. People love to see people behind the business in videos. Now, that type of post will actually get 12 times more engagement. 12 times. Essentially what engagement is too, I'll just explain this, is engagement is the number of times that somebody stops and looks at whatever it is that you are posting. And a face to camera video with you in it will actually get 12 times more engagement than text. This is an area that I need to work on. I need to do a little bit more face to camera myself. Okay, so let's just recap for a second, because this section is a little bit big to understand. But step one, you've got the content pillars. So they're rules for the type of content that you are going to be posting. Secondly, you're going to give those content pillars days of the week. So if you're planning on posting 5 times of the week, then you can do the Monday through to Friday thing like I did, or the Tuesday to Saturday, whatever your choice is. And then 3, you need to decide what format you are going to present your content in. Now, for me, the easiest way to do this is to actually have a calendar. So this is just an example. This is actually from January of this year. So the first thing I do is I have my monthly calendar. A lot of people ask me, if I was going to post 5 times per week, how long would it take me to create my social media strategy for the month? And I say, look, the first time it's going to take a little longer. It's probably going to take you maybe an hour to create the strategy, and then maybe 3 or 4 hours to create the content. But once you get into the swing of things, I can actually create a month's worth of content now in a couple of hours if I focus and actually do it. But this is how I start out with clients. So I have my calendar. The first thing I do is I highlight any special days. So you can see here, Saturday the 1st was New Year's Day. And of course, we've got the 26th, which is Australia Day. So you want to make sure that you're not accidentally posting things on a day where you can offend people. So I don't care if you want to put Happy Australia Day or not Happy Australia Day, or Happy New Year or not Happy New Year, but just be conscious of not posting on New Year's Day, you know, some promotional special and you're not even open because you're closed New Year's Day. It's a public holiday. So I always do that first. So I go through and I do those special dates. The next thing I do is I go through and I put in my pillars. Now, I do this by highlighting because I find this a little bit easier. As I said, this client is a great client. They're going to be posting 5 times a week, Monday to Friday. If it's only 3 for you, then it's only 3 for you. Now, I find the easiest way for me to do that is to actually allocate a color to each of the pillars. So blue is motivational, yellow is testimonial, green is educational, and orange is promotional, and red is entertaining. And then, of course, I've picked pink for the special days. So I just find that straight away I can see. Now, based off those colors and that calendar, I already know that I just need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 motivational posts. Sorry, my notes just blinked away from me then. I'll go back. I'm having a little technical with Canva. This is Canva I'm actually running this through. It doesn't normally do that. Just all of my words disappeared. Yellow is testimonial, so I need 4 of those. Green is educational, I need 3 of those. And orange is promotional, I need 4 of those. And red is entertaining, I need 4 of those. Let's try that page again. Yes, it's working. So the next thing I want to do is, how am I going to present that information? When I'm working with a client, and this client is absolutely fantastic because they're happy to do everything. They're happy to do face to video, they're happy to do the whole lot, and they want me to set up a strategy that involves all of it. So all I do is I've started on a diagonal here, and I've started from the top, and I've gone, well, I'm going to do a video on a Monday for the motivational post, and then I'm going to do a video on the Tuesday. And I just keep going through. So you can see I've really mixed it up. If you are not confident doing video because you don't have the technical know-how and you're not confident being face to video, then those are 2 options that you wouldn't have as part of your plan. You might have picture to text and picture only and text only. They may be the options for you. It's all about what you feel comfortable with. I'm a big one for pushing people outside of their comfort zone when it comes to social media. It never hurts. The comfort zone is where all the magic happens, as we know. So don't be afraid to give things a try. If it doesn't work, if you're using a story that, and you've done a story for the first time, it's only up for 24 hours and it's gone anyway. And anything else that you're not happy with after it's been up there and it's not performing, you can remove if you want to. But stepping outside your comfort zone will help you to learn. So I often find that a lot of businesses will actually just do a video of their voice and say, hey, look at the workshop today. We are working on this amazing, or we've worked on this amazing car. The owner's just about to come pick it up. And this is what we found. This is what we did. These are the state of their brakes. Now, guys, when it gets like this, your mechanic really should be checking your brakes more often. So whatever you are feeling comfortable with. But once I've got the plan and I plan everything out, it makes things much easier. And it doesn't seem so overwhelming. I mean, even if we look at the face-to-video videos, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I need to create. I like those videos only to be about 15 seconds long, really quick little videos. So, a really good example would be if I was going to do a promotional, or to go Wednesday educational. There we go. The first one that's there. Wednesday educational, just a really quick video of me going, hey guys, just checking in. Have you got a social media strategy? Because if you are just posting willy-nilly on social media, it's not the place, it's not the thing to do. We need to set up a strategy. You need to come to my workshop that's happening next week, whatever. Really quick, nice and quick. Testimonials are great. When you're doing a face-to-video testimonial, I get on and I speak to the person. So guys, I'm just jumping on. I really want to say thanks to Sally and Troy, who were clients last week. I did a full service on their car, and they've given me a really great testimonial. I just want to read it to you. It says, thanks, Brian, for all the hard work. Really appreciate what you've done. Our car feels amazing to drive. And so, guys, I just wanted to give you a shout out and say thank you. So essentially, you're saying thanks to your clients for giving you a testimonial, but you're also telling people that other people think you're amazing, but you're not saying that other people think you're amazing, because that's when you start to feel like a bit of a tool. I mean, if I came on and went, hey guys, we got a testimonial and we're so awesome and the car drives amazing now, I'm going to feel really uncomfortable with that. But if I feel like I'm thanking someone, thanks for leaving us a testimonial. I'm so glad the car's going so well. That's what we aim to do. And guys, that's a testimonial for you from a great client. It just makes a big difference. Any questions on that? As I said, I feel like I'm going so fast. How am I for time? Oh, I've got 20 minutes. This is great. Any questions on any of that? Because that's kind of the strategy. It's probably the biggest part of it, but it's also can be the most confusing for a lot of people. A lot of people will contact me after coming to this. This is normally a 2-hour workshop, by the way. That's why I'm talking like this. Will normally come back to me and say, once you gave me that strategy, it really opened up my eyes to how easy it could be. So that's really key there as well. Again, any questions, pop them into the chat. Step number 4 is to engage with your followers. It's great that you're posting, and it's great that you're posting regularly. That's great, everything in little steps. But the next thing I'd really like you to consider is engaging with your followers. And this can be really easy. The great thing about social media is that it's simply not a one-way street. So conversations are the key to getting more clients, more customers. And, online platforms, this has been the #1 reason why it's grown so fast. So social media has grown so fast. It's been the interaction that they can have. Queensland Police is really great. They have a lot of interaction on there. Woolworths is pretty good as well. If you're looking for Woolworths Facebook page, they're pretty good with their interaction as well. They're pretty clever with how they interact with people, but it's not a one-way street. It's really important that if someone is writing a comment, that you like that comment and you thank that person. And I'm okay if you just want to start posting and then work out how you're going to interact. But interacting is not as hard as it seems. And I don't mind if you're doing it once every couple of days or, well, excuse me, because you want to stay off social media. You don't want to be on there all the time. But it is important that you do get on there and interact every now and again. When you are interacting, make sure you're being authentic. Authentically you is always the key. But also making sure that you're being professional. So, you want to give the answers, but you want to be professional as well. Another reason to engage with your followers is that social media platforms tend to prioritize the posts with the most amount of engagement. Now, what I mean by that is, if you were to post something on your Facebook page, I'm just using Facebook as an example, but any platform, and somebody was to comment on there saying, "Oh, great looking car," and then you were to go back and reply to that comment and say, "Oh, you know, thanks, Tom. It is pretty cool. What's your favorite car?" And then Tom was to reply, "Oh, actually, I like the GT, blah, blah, blah." You've got a conversation happening. And what happens is every algorithm is the same on social media platforms in this respect. They see that there's interaction happening, and so they share it with more people. It doesn't cost you any more money for Facebook to show your post to more people. So it is important that you do have that little interaction in there if you want to grow on your social media as well. But they will prioritize and push that out to more people, which is pretty cool. So you must talk with your followers, create conversations, answer questions, because some people will ask questions, and respond to any problems that are raised. So a lot of people are scared of the old review button, particularly on Facebook. I know that's reared its ugly head again recently, where people actually might put a complaint up in that review section. It's all in the way that you handle it. And I'm going to give you a really good example of a client of mine. This client was a real estate agent. And they sold this house, and in the end, the client was a little bit difficult. Okay, the seller that they were selling the house for was a little bit difficult in the end, and you know there was some issues. So that particular seller decided to go onto Google, and write a really bad Google review about this real estate agent. You know, had we known the process was going to be so difficult, we would never have chosen them. You know, it was the worst sale ever, etc., etc. And she said, "How are we going to respond to this?" I said, "Look, there's no use denying that it wasn't a difficult sale. It definitely was a difficult sale. And it was difficult for a number of reasons that we didn't need to go into. You know, I see responses like, 'Oh, yeah, but, you know, had you just got out of the house when you said you were going to get out, none of the drama would have happened.' That's not the way to handle it." So we replied with something along the lines of, "Thanks for taking the time to writing a review. We completely agree it was a difficult sale and things didn't go according to plan. It wasn't part of the original service that we were offering. We did, however, manage to get a contract on your property within 35 days, which was fantastic news considering the average sale time in the area is 59 days. It's unfortunate that there were a few issues, and we hope that your next experience is a better one." And we posted that. So that was sort of responding to the issue, which was, we're not denying that there wasn't any problems. There was problems from both sides in that particular issue. So, you know, we're acknowledging that there was issues, and we're agreeing with them that there's issues. We are, however, using the opportunity to point out that we were superior to the rest of the agents in the area because we actually managed to sell the property a little bit sooner. And we wish them all the best of luck for their next transaction. So it kind of rounded it all up. And when people are seeing there's negative reviews, of course, you know what it's like. You go to buy a product on Amazon, you go straight to the reviews, you go straight to the negative ones. It's all about how they handle it. You know, when I'm looking at Amazon reviews, for example, people go, you know, "It turned up and it was ripped and blah, blah, blah." And Amazon gets on there and goes, "We're so terribly sorry of the condition that your product turned up in. If you could please contact our support center, we would love to send you a brand new item." So for me, it's like, okay, so there was an issue there, and, you know, it's how they responded kind of fixed it. But it's when there's no response, or when they go, when the product left our warehouse, it was in perfect condition, so we don't know what you're talking about. So it's responding to negative reviews in a positive way can actually help you get business as well, because it sometimes just makes the other person look like a tool at the end of the day. How can you create conversations with your followers? I've said this, you can ask questions, you can do live videos in which you talk to your audience. So you'll see a lot of those videos where people go, hey guys, it makes people feel like you're talking to them. You can conduct polls, though I know that feature has kind of gone a little bit from Facebook, but you could still say, you know, give us a thumbs up if you like the Ferrari, and give us a smiley face if you like the school bus. Ask others to comment on a particular topic, so you can ask a question, and focus on being real and authentically you. That's the key. Step number 5, you're starting to get really in depth. Now, remember, this is normally a 2-hour workshop and I'm squashing it into an hour. We've got 15 minutes left. If you're wanting to get real in depth with your social media, the next thing that you could do is follow the right people. So social media isn't just about getting people to follow you, it's also about you following the right people. If you are a business to business transaction, you should be following the businesses of the people that you want to come and do business with you. You should be liking their posts. You should be doing all of those things. The other thing that you can do, I'm just referring to my notes here so I don't miss anything. Following, I'm going to say not your competition, but I'm following experts in your field. For example, if you were maybe a mortgage broker and there was having a mental blank now of the guy from Yellow Brick Boris, that's it. He was to maybe put something on his social media about the most recent hike in interest rates. There might be a bit of, you know, a gold nugget in there that you can share as well. You know, at the end of the day, Mark Boris probably isn't going to be your exact competition, but it's important that, you know, following those thought leaders and those people who are at the top of the game can really get you ahead, because they're very smart. They're probably paying a lot of people to be on top when it comes to social media. The other thing that you can do is be part of groups. You may have seen groups on Facebook platforms, a really good example. They have groups. I think they have groups in LinkedIn as well. So you can go and be part of groups. If you were a bakery, for example, I'm just going to give you an example of a bakery in Beenleigh, Queensland, which is where I'm located. Then you might want to be part of the Beenleigh community page, because every now and again you want to post your hot meat pie in there that's for sale. So, you know, being part of those local community groups can be a real opportunity for you and your business as well. Make sure that as you follow these industry leaders and also are in these community groups, that you are actually interacting and being part of the group as well. So this is where we're talking really advanced people. So people who want to spend, you know, an hour a week. If I was going to be honest, I would say if you were going to spend 15 minutes a day liking some posts, posting something and interacting in some groups, it's going to do your business the world of good. So when you're sharing posts into groups, I want you to think about what you're sharing, and I want you to think about what's in it for them when you're posting as well and creating your content. You know, why would they want to read that? Why would they want to go further? Additionally, I want you to think of what type of content that you are posting that is getting the most amount of reaction. You know, and sometimes it's going to be those silly memes, and that can drive people absolutely batty. But sometimes that's the content that gets the reaction. The more eyeballs that see your business name and your logo, even if it is on a meme, the better, the more people that are going to be interacting with you and your brand. Step number 6, the use of hashtags. Again, we're getting really in depth. For those of you that are already on social media, you might be wondering about hashtags and whether to still use them. And yes, they are still a thing. For those of you who don't know what a hashtag are, it's the little hashtag symbol that you see with a word following the symbol, and people use them as a way to be able to tag or segregate particular topics. So if I was interested in a particular suburb like Beenleigh, I could say hashtag Beenleigh. And all of the posts that have been tagged with hashtag Beenleigh, you'll see a lot of businesses use it. You know, so I might see some special offers. I might choose to follow that hashtag. So if I'm on LinkedIn, LinkedIn will alert me every time there is a new post with hashtag Beenleigh. So people do use hashtags. They're a way to group posts by subject. And if you add a hashtag to your post, it will be grouped with all the other posts of people that have used that hashtag. It's like I was saying to you, hashtag Beenleigh might be used by the Beenleigh Bakery, the Beenleigh Butcher, and Beenleigh Woolworths in their posts, but they are grouped into that. The power of hashtags is that they allow you to get your content or your business in front of a broader audience. In other words, you can have your posts that are seen by more than just people who follow your page. So if you use hashtags, you're going to be seen by people who follow those hashtags, not necessarily by people that follow your page. So it can open it up to a broader audience for you. So it is a really clever way. A lot of people ask me, you know, how do you create your hashtags? When I'm working with a business, there's a couple of things that I do. I'm just having a look at this example. This is just an example for CrossFit. I hadn't looked at this for a little while. So you can see CrossFit, CrossFit for Lives, CrossFit workout. So this would be for a business that is a CrossFit business. And this is an example, you know, before you do any CrossFit workout, spend at least 10 minutes getting warmed up and stretched out. And then following that, you would have CrossFit, hashtag CrossFit, CrossFit for Life, and CrossFit workout. There are a number of platforms that you can use to get help with your hashtags. One is an app called Tags. It looks like a hashtag. It's yellow with a little black hashtag in it. It is free, so you can use it. Allhashtags.com is another on if you're on your computer that you could go and use. Tailwind is actually a paid version, but for people using Instagram, you may have heard of Tailwind. It does a number of things, but they do hashtags as well. I want you to be careful that you don't use too many hashtags. It can be seen as spamming. And be careful also not to use hashtags that are not relevant to the information that you are sharing. If you are sharing information about, you know, fixing your brakes or whatever, and then you use the hashtag beach life, people are going to get really annoyed. They do get really annoyed. And so do the platforms if you're not using the right hashtags. A bit of a strategy for you. This is what I do with clients. So I use between sort of, I say 5 and 10, but I think it's 5 and 15. That's not right. Instagram says, I'm sure it's between 5 and 15 hashtags is the best to use. Used to be 30. You got the ability to use 30, and a lot of people are still using 30 because they're in that that kind of habit and pattern. But they have kind of reduced that a little bit. So what I normally do is I set up hashtags for each of the pillars. So we had motivational, testimonial, educational, promotional, and entertaining. And then I have, I start off and I have 5 hashtags that are relevant to the business. So in this example, this is an example for lawyers that I once worked for. They had their business, which was Best Injury Lawyers. So hashtag Best Injury Lawyers, hashtag Brisbane, because that was they were located in Brisbane. But then I also did hashtag Queensland. Then I did hashtag personal injury and hashtag legal advice, because somebody who is maybe looking for a lawyer might be following or looking for those things. They would, you know, look for personal injury or legal advice. So they were the 5 hashtags that I used on every single post. But then I also added, like you can see Motivational Monday up here. It says motivation, we are here to help, personal injury firm, legal services, compensation, and then it has the 5. Testimonial has testimonials, reviews, legal services, workers' comp, law firms. So you can notice I'm sort of mixing up the hashtags on a weekly basis, and I'm adding those 5 in every time. So that becomes their hashtags. There is another product that I didn't mention when I said about getting help with hashtags. It's a product called Flick, F-L-I-C-K. It is another website as used. I have used that as well, and I found that to be quite useful. Group sharing really quickly. A lot of people ask us about group sharing. Facebook is really big for group sharing. They have lots of groups set up. So how does it work? Basically, you post a post on your page and you share that post into different community groups. So if you are personally already part of some of the community groups, you can share those posts across. Just be careful to make sure that you look at the rules of the groups, because some of them have rules, you know, business posts are only allowed on Fridays. So what that means is you can only share a business post into that particular group on a Friday. So just make sure that you're following the rules and have a look at the rules. What I want you to do is I want you to experiment. I want you to have a little play, I guess, with some content and what you're going to post. You know, make sure what you're posting is authentic, but also have a bit of a play around and see what works with your demographic clientele and the people that are following your page as well. And if something's not working, don't be afraid to change it. You can change these things so instantly. Oh, that didn't work. We won't do that again. We'll do something else. Testing a few different things, split set testing some stuff, you know, if you're not really sure how people are going to respond. Testing a couple of different ways to see, you might do the same post. And this is what's great about social media. And I'll just mention this. I forgot to mention this in the content section. When you're creating your content, you know how I spoke about, you could do a testimonial. So I have one testimonial. And people go, but that's just not enough. There's, you know, how can I keep posting the same testimonial all the time? Or how can you make it seem different? So the first time you post it, it might just be the words, you know, testimonial received, words only. The next time you post it, it might be a picture. It's something you've created in Canva. The next time you post it, it might be you talking to the video. I just want to thank those people for putting in that review. So you can actually share the same testimonial, you know, in 4 or 5 different ways, and people won't even realize that it's the same. Obviously, I'm not expecting you to do that in the 1 week. I would put some weeks between them all, but people won't even realize because it will be different formats and you'll be attracting different people. So if you have an educational post, that educational post, that one post could be a video, which is just a brand video. So a video with no your face in it, just words. Then it could be a face to camera video where you're actually talking about it. Then it could be a post that's just a graphic. It could be words, and it could be a post with words and a graphic. So out of that one piece of content, you've presented it in 5 different ways, and you can stagger those out. So don't be afraid to do that also. Social media doesn't have to be complicated. I hope I haven't overwhelmed you guys tonight, because I've shown you a lot. It kind of feels a bit like this picture at the moment for me. But if you can take one piece of gold nugget out of what we've spoken about tonight, just one thing that we have gone through, and then put that into practice, just start there. You know, there's a little saying, you know, how do you eat an elephant? Well, it's one bite at a time. And that's so true when it comes to social media. It's just one thing at a time. Don't wait. Get started today or get started tomorrow. Get that plan, start writing a planner, get your little notebook, get yourself a little bit organized so that you can sort of get started if you haven't started your journey already. Guys, I'm putting a last call out there for the last lot of questions. Remember I said, that's pretty much all the information, spoken like the Roadrunner for an hour instead of 2. So if I haven't answered any question that you came here with tonight, now's your last chance to pop it into the chat. So there was a number of people registered for tonight, and only a couple have turned up, and that's fine. But if you have any questions, pop them into the chat. Don't forget, if you are you're coming to this session because of the Digital Solutions program, and you can actually have up to 7 hours of mentorship with only $44 through that program. So what you will get is actually 4 hours one-on-one with an expert, and then 3 hours of these webinars and workshops, which is suited to you. So if you haven't done that already, I know I only do 5 clients per month through that particular through the one-on-one sessions. I only have 5 of those a month, and then I do these webinars and workshops. So if you want more information about that, or you want to have a look at the list of amazing experts that are available to you through the Digital Solution Program, visit businessstation.com.au and you'll find all of the information there. Many people ask, when is your next webinar coming up? The next webinar coming up is on Tuesday, the 19th of July. It is at 6 p.m. That's Queensland time, but will actually be for business owners in Queensland, Northern Territory and Western Australia. And it is traffic generation tips for your small business website. So if you've built a website, you're struggling to get people to it, maybe I can give you some tips in that hour. Not as much talking in that one as there was tonight, but hopefully you got something out of it. Guys, that is the end of the 1 hour workshop. So connect with me over socials if you want to. I'm social media manager, so obviously I'm on a lot of platforms. And certainly if you want to find out more about me or the program, head to businessstation.com.au. But if there's no final questions, I am going to, now that we've hit our hour, let you guys head off and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much for turning up. And hopefully you got something out of that. Guys, go forth, use social media to grow your business, and I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks so much, Dean.